Hi friends, so I very much planned on doing June, July, August, September garden updates, and then July just got away on me. We were gone for 2 weeks, we got sick, it rained so much, and so here we are. It's August 3rd, I think. So I'm going to do a beginning of August garden tour. Honestly, it has been a really slow garden season. It rained a ton in June, it was really cold, things just got off to a really slow start. So I feel like things are still pretty slow in August, which is a bummer because we have a really short growing season. I'm in zone 3, 4 in northern Canada. So we could easily have a frost in 6 weeks, but praying that it'll be more like 10 or 12 weeks till we have a frost like it was last year. But if you're new here, my name is Tori. We live on a 1/4 acre urban homestead just in the suburbs, and we really try to grow as much of our own food as we can, make all of our food from scratch, and just really live a simple lifestyle. So if you're brand new, make sure that you hit the subscribe button and I'd be happy to have you stick around. Okay, we had a huge wind hailstorm the other day and I never cleaned stuff up, and I'm not going to do that right now because I just need to get this done before the baby wakes up. So we do have chickens. Their coop is a muddy mess right now just because we've had so much rain. And then this is the garden, and I will take you up close to show you what we're growing. So right here I have potatoes in grow bags. You can't really see the bags, but those are in grow bags and they are thriving. They're doing so great. This is like a probably 4x4 square. Again, you can't really see it. And it's mostly garlic, and then there was radishes that I pulled, and then the weeds just kind of took over, and I intended to plant more here and I never did. So, but the garlic is probably pretty close to being ready. I did plant it late. I didn't get it in the fall, so I planted it in the spring, but as you can see, the garlic scapes are ready. I could probably harvest those. And then over here are my gardens, but they are just kind of a jungle right now. I haven't had a lot of time since we've been back from vacation to be out here. It probably all needs to be weeded, but I thought that I would show you anyway. So over here is carrots, and then there's beets. This is a big chamomile. There's another big chamomile over there that just kind of self-seeded itself. And I just think they're really pretty, and I do harvest the flowers to make teas and stuff. I have beets here. Something attacked my beet leaves while I was away. I think it was probably slugs, but again, I just haven't really had the time to figure that out. I'm hoping that the beets under the soil are still fine. Cabbage is in here. Again, I did mean to cover these with like netting because we do get cabbage moths. So I probably should do that before there's actual cabbages growing on them. And then these are just onions that I didn't pull last year that I missed, and they went to seed. So I'm just kind of letting them go because they're pretty. This is all potatoes. I'm growing a ton of potatoes this year because that's what we eat the most of. So it's super practical to just grow what we eat, and they are thriving. They're doing so good. So hopefully they're doing as well under the soil as they are, as the leaves are. Over here is lots of herbs. I started a lot of these from seeds, so they're super, super slow, which I'm not surprised about. I have some peppers. Peppers are really hard in our climate because we just don't get the heat that they need, but I thought that I would try. This is a jalapeno, and I have got several jalapenos off of it. This is usually my strawberry patch, but they just didn't overwinter, so my strawberries didn't come back, which is super weird. I've never had that issue. So I'm gonna have to replant strawberries next spring, but it was kind of too late by the time I realized that that happened. So I just put some tomatoes in here. They haven't been trellised. They need to be because they're kind of toppling over. And then I have a dahlia here that's not, it's just kind of starting to come back. And then over here, the rest of this garden is mostly tomatoes. I think I have like 15 or 16 tomato plants in here. Along this back with this trellis, I'm growing my indeterminate tomatoes, and I'm growing them vertically, so they're climbing up these strings, and this is the first time I've done them that way. So far they seem to be doing great. And then in front I have my determinate tomatoes in tomato cages, and then there's a bunch of sunflowers here that were just like volunteer sunflowers, and I'm just kind of letting them go, although I think I might have to pull some of them because they're stealing some sunlight from the tomatoes. But they're already blooming, so I'm hoping I can just let them bloom and then pull them out, and then tomatoes will still get a couple weeks of uninterrupted sun. And then along the perimeter I did onions just because I had extra onions to plant, and that was a good way to use up space. And then this whole bed is also potatoes. It's super weedy right now. It really needs to be weeded, but lots more potatoes in the back. All along this fence I always do sunflowers because they face west and they just do, it's just so beautiful to have a whole wall of sunflowers and they're already blooming. It's super early for us to have sunflowers blooming, but I think that those were probably ones that seeded themselves last fall, so they just have had more time. But this is a zucchini. This is the first time I've ever done zucchini here. It's usually on that side of the yard that gets more sun. This is not doing the best, but I'm not super stressed because we always have so much zucchini and there's always people giving away zucchini. So if I don't get a lot of zucchini, it's fine. Okay, let's climb over here. So this whole garden goes to way over there and I have 100 onions planted in here. So those will be storage onions and they're doing great. They're kind of toppling over, but it's because of the rain. It's not because they're actually done. Okay, you can see them better from this side. But again, everything needs to be weeded. Don't judge my weeds. I'm just trying to get this filmed while I have a chance. But yeah, I planted 100 onions in here, which I'm really excited about. Along the back, I planted some raspberry bushes from a friend. So those are little this year, but hopefully next year I'll have more from that. And then on this side, this garden bed also goes all the way along the fence and I have sunflowers here and here. This is a huge raspberry bush. You can see actually that there's a ton of fruit that needs to be picked before they go overripe. But this is the first year I've ever had nearly this amount of raspberries. This is thriving. So next year I should get lots over here. Okay, and then in this corner, again, I think that there was slugs or something, but this all happened while I was not home. So I wasn't able to be really proactive when I started to see this, but this is my Swiss chard. Something has completely devoured that. So it's probably too late to even save that. But these dahlias are doing really nice. I always try to plant like some flowers in with my vegetable garden just because it's beautiful and it attracts pollinators. Okay, and then it's hard to see, but all along here I have several different lettuces growing and I've been using these for dinners and stuff pretty regularly, so there's not a whole lot that you can see, but this is some lettuce, there's some more there, there's that Swiss chard. This is all spinach. These sunflowers need to be staked, but there's spinach in here that actually is starting to bolt. And then I think there was lettuce in here that this chamomile has just completely taken over. This spinach has completely bolted, obviously, but I could still feed that to like my chickens. And I'll probably pull all of this out and replant another batch of spinach and lettuce and stuff, and that will continue to grow even if we do get a frost. So this chamomile is insane. I did not plant this. This is just self-seeded from last year. And it is so beautiful even though it has completely toppled over onto my walkway. But I don't know, I just love these little flowers are so cute. And then again, this zinnia. I did not plant this. I don't even think I've ever had zinnia over here, so I'm not really sure how this got here. But I've just let it grow because it's so pretty. Okay, on my porch, ignore these clothespins that have been knocked over by my baby. But I have two basils. This one has bolted. That one is still okay. I should harvest all of this while I still have a chance. This is like a thyme. I planted this all from seed and this one's actually doing quite well. Honestly, herbs are not my strength. I don't find that they tend to thrive. They tend to like pretty consistent mild temperatures, which we don't have. This was cilantro. It's done, it bolted. This was a chamomile plant that did look beautiful, but not so great. This is like my herb graveyard over here. I don't even know why I'm sharing this because they're all pretty sad. I had really big dreams for my herbs this year and this is just like not what I was hoping. I was hoping that they would do so much better and I could harvest tons of them. I just don't find that I'm super great with herbs. Okay, and then in my front yard I have this massive perennial bed. I did not put this in and it's kind of the bane of my existence. It's really hard to add anything because the soil is awful. And I've amended it over and over and over again. But these huge lilies just like suck up all the nutrients and I can't even dig them out. It's like a tree trunk. So I've done what I can in here. I have planted some things, like I've planted the peonies. And then all along here, I did plant quite a bit of vegetables, but then I went on vacation and it didn't get weeded. So they're not thriving, but I'm hoping that I still have a chance. So there's Swiss chard. It's all pretty little, but I'm hoping now that it's all been weeded and mulched that it'll still have a chance to grow. There's some lettuce. This is a huge rhubarb plant that I planted and it is doing awesome this year. And then it has this little baby rhubarb right there that hopefully will take off. These are cabbages. They're not doing great. This, I had this vision of beans like growing up this, but only one of my bean plants like germinated. So that's a huge bummer because now it's probably too late, but I'm gonna try because beans do grow pretty quickly, and if we have some warm temperatures, hopefully, who knows, maybe I'll have a chance. If not, I already have the seeds, so I'm not losing anything. But I just like had this vision of like pole beans growing everywhere here. And then this is doing the best of the area that I planted vegetables in. This is my little cabbage patch. So these are all cabbages. Some of them are doing better than others. Just like I said, we've had some aggressive rain lately, so a lot of stuff is kind of toppled over, but I think it'll be fine. And then this is all lettuce that I've planted and I've been harvesting it. But yeah, these cabbages look super healthy. So I need to get these covered and netted before the cabbage moths come and obliterate them. And then this side's just a mess. My front porch is a mess also. It needs to be swept off, but I just have some planters and I have some new herbs to plant. I found some herbs super cheap, so I just need to get these in pots. So I have a rosemary because my rosemary was scorched. And I have 2 different types of mint. This was a beautiful thriving mint and I'm not really sure what happened to it while I was away. But I do have some more mint. I'm really wanting to have tons of mint that I can dry and save for teas and stuff throughout the winter. So hopefully, I think that once I plant these, they'll grow really, really fast. So they should be fine. But yeah, I just have such a love-hate relationship with this garden because I like productive vegetable gardens. And it's just been so hard to add anything to this garden. I've tried every year. This is the most I've ever had grow here. So hopefully next year will be even better. So that is my July-August garden update. I will for sure do one at the beginning of September. Hopefully there'll be more. This is not my most productive garden every year. That's the thing with gardening, is that one year your tomatoes will thrive and you'll have so many tomatoes, and then the next year they won't. And something else will do better or worse or whatever. So, and hopefully we'll have a few weeks of nice weather in August and things can kind of catch up a little bit. But I guess that's the nature with any sort of gardening or farming, is just that we are not in control of the weather, and some years are better gardening years than others. So hopefully you enjoyed that. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see my September garden update and some of our harvest and stuff. So thanks for watching. See you again next Sunday.